Hi, Maria.
Hi, Renzo.
So today, inspired by you, because you always come to these conversations with the best ideas, I wanted to try my hand at this.
Perfect.
I have a question for you.
I look forward to it. Okay, go ahead.
Good.
A question for me. I might not answer it.
Well, I hope you do, but I know you'll give it some good thought. Artificial intelligence. Have you heard of it?
Okay, I'm walking out of this room right now.
No, bear with me.
Yes,
Bear with
a
me.
lot.
Artificial intelligence. Do you think that it is benefiting us as a society?
Not at all. I think I mentioned I watched this documentary, the AI doc, how I became an apocalyptimist. And I thought the director really tried to show the two sides, the apocalyptic side and the good side, but it didn't work with me. I walked out of that documentary so anxious and so worried about the fate of humanity that I don't think is really any good for us. But before we continue...
Yes, this I can already tell this is going to be a great conversation, but...
What is this?
What are we doing? This is Just a Spanish Phrase, a companion podcast to News and Slow Spanish, where we teach language through current events. But here, on Just a Spanish Phrase, we explore the origins of common idiomatic Spanish expressions. Of course, we do it in English. We have a little fun. And today, we have...
News in Slow Spanish, which is our host podcast, is... Spanish through the news. We're all humans hosting.
Oh, that's right.
Same here.
We have to have an AI disclaimer.
Exactly. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes, the expression for today, the idiomatic expression we'll be looking at is salir el tiro por la culata.
Which is, I wouldn't know how to translate that. When you fire a gun
one.
And the bullet comes your way and kills you.
Well, that in the extreme, the most extreme of cases, yes. It is salir el tiro por la culata means that the shot in a gun, as you pointed out, came out the wrong way, came out the back. In English, we say it very briefly, but the same idea, when something backfires. But in Spanish, salir el tiro por la culata, we paint a more vivid picture. We say very specifically that the shot or the bullet came out the butt of the gun.
Exactly.
And by the way, that's the actual name for the back of a rifle that rests against your shoulder. It's the butt, which is short for buttstock. And in Spanish, that is called culata.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that until I did my research for this episode. But yes, so things that backfire. Now you can see why I brought up artificial intelligence, don't you?
Which, exactly, completely. Because yes, it could be an amazing tool. Like in that documentary, and I've been, since it came out, I've been experimenting with it, with all the different programs, images, text, etc. But in this documentary, the director interviews pretty much the big players in the industry, and they all talk about how health is going to be greatly improved. It's going to be so much faster and easier to
like human health?
Yes, because you can find tailored medicine. You can find and develop tailored medicine, vaccines, etc. for rare diseases or for your specific disease, or if there's a virus, it will be much easier and faster to create a vaccine for detection of tumors. They are definitely outsmarting the radiologist. Things that the radiologists can miss, AI have detected. Education too, rural towns or every corner in the planet would have access to the best of the best tutors.
Oh, but see, there I have to disagree with you, which I understand. I understand in theory where AI education, because it does such an admittedly good job of playing the role of a tutor or a teacher, and therefore, you could provide a high-quality education to students that are, very far away from having that kind of access. True, but artificial intelligence, and here's where I think el tiro nos sale por la culata, where it can backfire. We already know, and this is the whole inspiration for bringing up this topic, is that we already know how technology in our education system has a long-term negative effect on our cognitive abilities. In fact, I was just reading that Gen Z, so I don't know the age range of Gen Z, but it's the current, young people coming up right now, they're Generation Alpha, but Gen Z, so a little older than them, they're coming into the workforce now. They're in their 20s, I think, early 20s. Studies are showing that they're the first generation since we started tracking that are scoring lower on cognitive ability tests than their parents. For decades, cognitive ability has been improving as we educate more, as we have more schooling in general and more tools. But now we're starting to see the first decline. And one of the reasons is the abundance, the overuse of technology. AI, I think, is going to make that even worse. And that's how el tiro sale por la culata.
And I was just telling you the good things that were mentioned in that documentary. So I won't even bother with the bad things.
Oh, right. We didn't get to the apocalyptic
We didn't
stuff
get
yet.
to we don't know how AI are going to self-manage when that starts happening, because, we have artificial intelligence, but soon we will have general artificial intelligence, and after we'll have super artificial intelligence.
Oh.
There's many TED Talks about the topic that are very, very interesting. And that's one thing. And the other thing is like unemployment.
Yes, that's the other great example of how it can backfire.
Well, not only with every technology, usually science and technology goes way faster than the law, than the regulations, and way faster than philosophy. Like, how do we understand this technology as humans and don't let it consume us? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of thought required to assimilate that new technology, and we are not having any time to think because this technology is changing and evolving so fast. So if we don't have time to think, we don't have time to regulate. So we're going to have unemployment, and we don't have policies in place to take care of all these, not only the economy, but also the meaning of life. Like how
like the purpose of people? Like having a purpose?
Yes, what Harari, the historian, calls obsolency.
Oof.
What are we going to do as individuals when we realize we're obsolete, that we are not needed anymore in any area?
Oh, I see why you walked out of that movie depressed. I'm feeling depressed now. This topic backfired. Me salió el tiro por la culata.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, I expected that. This is a fascinating conversation. And honestly, okay, the other thing about joblessness and losing jobs, like you said, I think that's an example of having that unintended consequence, right? Where weren't we promised a few years ago, as artificial intelligence was coming up as a tool and was being adopted across industries, that it was going to make us more productive, that it was going to give us more free time and make our jobs easier and more profitable because we're more productive. And instead, what we're seeing is mass layoffs. People
and
getting
eventually,
replaced.
maybe, I remember discussing this with a friend, and he said, like, money is going to lose value. Like, the value that money has nowadays will become obsolete once, this technology is overarching, Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll have more time for art, for creation, for community, for socialization. I don't know. At this stage, I don't see any thought put into this by companies, by governments, by the actors. But what is the origin of te salió el tiro por la culata? Because we're running out of time, and we could talk about this for hours.
That's right. I won't let this topic
keep
backfire on me.
Yes.
We'll keep it focused. So, as you already mentioned, it comes from weapons, from guns. But more specifically, at least in Spanish, we trace it back to the very, very, very old-fashioned rifles and muskets of the 15th century. So these, as opposed to modern weapons, instead of bullets, they used small projectiles, little ball bearings, sometimes made out of lead. Anyway, a small sphere of metal. And they had to be loaded with cloth, gunpowder, the actual projectile, and then pressed into the barrel of the musket in a very specific way, and all these ingredients, so to speak, in a very in very specific amounts, So you can imagine there's two ways that can go wrong. One, a skill issue, someone inexperienced loading maybe too much gunpowder or not pressing it down hard enough or too tight. And then when you pull the trigger and the flint ignites the gunpowder, it explodes the wrong way. Maybe the explosion's too big. Maybe it literally blows the butt of the gun off the rifle and into you. And then the other one, which was really a famous issue back then, and it's why many rifle makers would advertise that their guns, their rifles, would not backfire, is a manufacturing issue. If the gun was poorly built, then it was more likely to backfire.
So the expression is literal, something that backfires.
Yes, and that's why I brought AI.
Very interesting. So unfortunately, we ran out of time. But if you want to discuss this topic, we have rooms in Using Slow Spanish where we practice conversation in slow Spanish with our subscribers. Or feel free to send us an email to amigos, that's friends in Spanish, at newsinslowspanish.com if you have any suggestions for future topics.
Yeah, that's right.
Or if you want to please convince me, please prove me wrong, please tell me something really good about AI and the future and tell me it's not going to backfire. And tell Renzo too, of course, but I guess he's less apocalyptic than I am.
I don't know. I think I'm starting to see your point.
Just don't watch that documentary and continue living happy.
It's going to backfire, but I will. Okay.
Adios.
Bye.
Thank you.